I'm so excited to be chatting with you today. And so, first things first, I want to know because I had a chance to enjoy the special last night, but I want to know what were some of your emotions going into this? And why was it important for you to host this in Atlanta, which is a place that I know you've called home for nearly 14 years now?
You better know your homework, baby. The emotion going into it for me, I felt like, as I said, I had something to say. And I feel like what I have to say may possibly make a difference. It may possibly make you look at things a different way. It may possibly make you be free. It may possibly make you open up. It may possibly make you become a better mother, a better wife, a better friend. So the emotion for me was, and my husband, was for us to give a freedom that oftentimes we're not given.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, especially as a Black woman, baby, you're not given that freedom to speak freely and loudly without being labeled and titled and knocked down and dragged and all those things. So I'm hoping, even for sweet sisters like you, if you gotta say it, you'll say it unapologetically, loudly and proudly. That's what I.
Yes, well, it definitely resonated, okay? Like that message definitely came through. And one thing that I loved about this is it's almost like a reintroduction because the title alone is pretty self-explanatory with My Name is Monique. Who would you say Monique is in this new chapter?
Who would I say Monique is in this new chapter? I'll allow you to say it. Because what happens is the ego can get in the way when you start speaking about who you are in your chapters, right? What I would like to think of myself as, I'm just love. And sometimes love can be painful, right? But it's always from a place of truth and honesty and hoping that things get better. So I think that for me, to say who is Monique now, I've always been a person of love. I've not always been a person of maturity. I've always been a person of love. I've not always been a person of consideration. I've always been a person of love, but I've not always been a person of being able to communicate my feelings properly. So who Monique is now is a 55-year-old woman proudly sitting in her womanhood, right? And understanding what it is now to be a woman, understanding what it is to be a Black man's wife, because it takes a lot to sit in that position, baby. Understanding what it is to be a present mother, being a present grandmother, understanding your priorities. So to say who was Monique is so many things, right? But it's all wrapped up into Monique grew up. And that's what y'all getting now. Yeah. You're getting a grown woman. I can do whatever I want. Come on.
Yes, and you look so great. You've always just embodied this confidence. I was introduced to you as a little girl, like from Virginia. I'm here in Atlanta now, and it's just like watching over the years. It's just been amazing to watch and support you. So it's even me talking to you now is full circle, so I'm just so elated. And just speaking of, like, to truly understand who you are, you have to recognize where you come from, which you focus on in the special through how you were raised. So how do you think this will help people kind of peel back those layers of who you are as a person? Because, we see what we see, but like this is just a more vulnerable side of you.
I think my story, and I say this humbly because I never want to sound, vain, but I think that my story is your story, it's your mama's story, It's your grandmama's story. It's the Asian sister over in Japan story. It's the brother down in Mississippi in the backwoods. It's his story. It's our story that we've been too afraid to say out loud. It's our story that we've been too afraid to say, this is what I'm insecure about. This is what I'm vulnerable about. This is what I'm nervous about. This is what I'm fearful about. Because we as Black women, we've been taught to be so damn strong, baby. We don't know what it is when we get a man to come in and say, I don't need you to stand up peeing. I got this. Can you have a seat? I don't need you to open your car door. I got that. I don't need you. So I'm hoping that when we walk away from it, every person that's going to watch can take a piece from it and say, let me hold that right here and see what it do for me. Yes, laugh your ass off. Laugh your ass off, because I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
But as I said, I got something to say, and I hope people can hear it.
Yes, heard you. And just lastly, along with this stand-up special, you're also on our television screens. I had a chance to watch you in The Reading, and you're also in BMF. And I really want to know, what was it like bringing your role to life in BMF, particularly given that you were most likely here in Atlanta during BMF's reign? So what was that like?
Okay, so I only saw BMF them one time. That was doing Freaknik. But
Okay.
I was, baby, let me tell you something. Okay, okay. I was riding by and I saw all these people. They were like, that's the BMF guys. Well, that's as much as I know, okay, to see them. But with the character Goldie, and first let me just say this. I'm so proud of every last one of them, baby. Nicole, Russell, Mish, Devonchi, they are just blowing it out the water. They are so awesome. The writers and Randy, and they're just awesome, right? And when 50 called me about Goldie, he said, you and Randy can develop her. You and Randy make her out. And when Randy and I talked, and we just going back and forth, and it was a great time. Well, when I got on that set, you know who Goldie was for me? Goldie was my Aunt Vera. And my Aunt Vera, baby, was a big woman, about 500 pounds, would put on a cat suit, had nails out to here, and anything you thought you wanted, my Aunt Vera could provide, okay? So she was the government's worst nightmare, but she was the community's hero. You hear what I'm saying to you, baby?
Yes.
That's who Goldie is.
I love that, Monique. It was just a pleasure to chat with you again. You're a living legend and an icon, and it was just an honor to chat with you today. So congratulations in all your endeavors moving forward.
Thank you, sweet baby. And until we meet again, and we will, keep going.
All right, thank you.